Hi, this is Dreama, and today we are doing a client reading. And as always, I know the name of the client and they know their name, but I won't be saying it in this video. Now, today we're doing actually a really large reading. It is a 21 card from the past, present, and future spread. Okay, so there's actually going to be 21 cards. It's a really large spread. Okay, and we're going to start out. We're going to be using 7 cards for this row, okay? Okay. And the second row will be another 7. And the final row will be also 7. So we have 3 rows of 7 cards each. Now, how this is going to work is that the first row up here, now, that card will be what I call the past, okay? The center set of cards will be the present. And finally, the bottom set will be the future, okay? Now, this is just a general reading for the client, so there's not any specific questions or anything like that. Okay? First, we have the 4 of Rods. Now, this is really an interesting card. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there are a couple of people and they're holding up rods. There's an entrance way with, you know, some greenery around. It's actually not a bad card at all for the past, because that is what we're talking about. Now, this tells me that there was a time in the past where the client was happy. They did lead a life that was content. Okay, almost as if everything seemed to be fine and coming together pretty well for them. Okay. Next, we have the 10 of Rods. Now, this is interesting because this person actually, they're carrying a lot of rods and they're walking off into the distance. So what that tells me is that sometime in the past, the client had taken on a lot of burdens. They were kind of carrying a very heavy load, whether that be financially, within the family, within the love life. Just things were kind of piled on and piled on and piled on. And they did feel a need and a want to escape. Okay? Next, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting card because I'm not sure how well you can see, but the person is holding just one pentacle, okay? And what I'm getting is that, you know, this person had carried a very heavy load, a lot of responsibility. It looks like they've worked very hard. Their life has been a lot about work, okay? Next, we have the 8 of Pentacles. And again, this card, there's pentacles here, and he's looking at pentacle there. This is another card that tells me that this person worked really, really hard and were very diligently, you know, working hard on their finances and on their family life. Just a very dedicated and hard-working person, okay? Next, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, this is interesting because this is a very powerful card. And what this tells me about the client's past is that, you know, there was a time when, you know, you were very directed to business and to bearing all the burdens of the finances and all the burdens of your life and family and love life, all of that, as almost as if you just were taking on, you know, way too much. I also, you know, it's also telling me that there was probably, you know, you became quite advanced within, you know, your field of work. Okay. Next, we have the King of Cups. Now, again, this is a very powerful card. And what I'm getting from this one is that it looks to me like that you at one point were a very creative person. You were a very fair person. You considered yourself to be fair and honest and hard-working. Okay? And that's what I'm getting from the past. There's not so far a lot about your love life. Mostly it's about money and business. Okay, Tower. And this is interesting because this is the second reading I've done for this client. This very same card came out before. So what I'm getting from this is that sometime in the past, there has been some sort of change in your life, okay? Almost to the point where you felt as though you were being, kind of distressed or almost ruined. It looks like financially there was a huge problem, and it had something to do with work and all these burdens that you were carrying, okay? All right, now let's move to the present. We have the Judgment card, okay? This is about, it's about judgment. To me, what I'm getting from this card is that it looks like what's going on now, or in the very near future, right now and in the very near future, that there's going to be some sort of, if there hasn't already, some sort of change of position, almost a renewal, okay, of you seeking and wanting balance, which was something that it looked like in the past that you had struggled with, some sort of balance to your life. Okay, and next we have the Two of Swords. Now, this is an interesting card because I'm not sure how well you can tell, but this person is holding up two swords and they're blindfolded. So what I'm getting from this card is it looks as though there's some sort of friendship or love interest or something like that that's going to be either in your life or coming into your life soon. Almost some sort of intimacy. And it's going to be something that's very new and refreshing to you in comparison to your past. However, they're wearing a blindfold, so be very careful that you don't become blinded by this person. And to me, they may be someone who offers to help you in this endeavor of wanting fair treatment and justice and things like that. Okay, and then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting card. It's actually a very good card. So what it tells me about what is going on right now in the client or within the very near future is it looks like there's going to be some sort of gain in your life, whether that be money or maybe somehow I'm getting family. There's going to be some gainful things, if they aren't already happening, within your family and within your finances. It looks like things are going to get better for you in the very, very near future, or are actually right now getting better, and you may not even know it. This could be something that's going on behind the scenes. Okay? All right, then we have the Four of Pentacles. Now, this card is a little bit different, and what that tells me is that right now and in the very near future, there seems to be that you're kind of clinging to gifts and wealth and people. You can see he's kind of clutching that one pentacle. So that tells me that you're kind of concentrating and clutching this one area of your life right now. Okay? Next we have the Strength card. Now, this card is what it is. It is what it says. It is about strength. And what this tells me is that you are a very strong person, but you've had times of weakness. And that may be why you're clinging to whatever it is you're clinging to. And you will become strong again, stronger. I think you may be clinging on to gifts, possessions, people, to maybe gain your strength from that. But I believe that you have an inner strength, one that you possibly may not even be aware that you have. Okay? Next, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting card. Again, it's a very good card. There's really nothing negative about this card. What I'm getting is that it looks as though, you're looking to feel some sort of sense of accomplishment. Almost feel as if everything has worked out good for you. You have a fear that it won't. But, right now, you're looking for that sense of accomplishment. Okay. Okay, next we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is an interesting card as it pertains to the right now and the very near future, because this card, basically, it is a wheel. It is a circle, and all things, you know, go in a circle. And so what I'm getting from this card is that it looks as though things will be getting better for you. Almost as if your luck is going to get better. It may be starting to change right now, and you're not aware of it, because I think it's happening in the background. Right now, you are just so worried about clinging to these things from the past that you may not realize that things are beginning to change. Okay? All right, now lastly, we're going to talk about the future. These bottom 7 cards. Okay, we have the Ace of Cups. Now, this is an interesting card. This is a very good card. What I'm getting from this card about the future is that it looks like you're going to come to a time where everything's going to kind of fall in place. And the things that you wanted are going to actually come together at one point in your life. Now, as far as the future, this doesn't say how far in the future. This may be quite a few months away, because this is not the very near future. This is actually something further out a few months, okay? All right, and next we have the Star. Now, this is an interesting card also as it pertains to the future. It's, you know, it's a very bright card. And it's a card that offers some sort of almost like hope, you know, to the future. It looks like there's going to come a time where things are going to come together, and you're going to be hopeful and think that you have a very bright future. And I really think you will, okay? Next, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, this is an interesting card because, for one thing, the Queen is a very powerful card, okay? And what I'm getting from this card is that it looks as though there's going to be some gifts, some things that are going to be given to you. These are going to be financial gifts and also possibly your love life. It looks like there's going to be someone new enter your life, or someone old that has come back into your life. It's going to make you feel as if things are better. Okay? The Devil. This card actually came up in the last reading also for this client. And what that tells me is that in the future, you're going to feel as though when this person enters back in your life, things are good. But in reality, in the long run, you're going to begin to feel trapped and chained, and you're going to want to get away. Okay? That's going to be your goal, is to get away. Next, we have the Hermit. Now, this is interesting because what that tells me is that once you do break away from this person, that I really think you will, once you get to that, you're almost, it's going to get to the feeling to where you're actually, you know, feeling as though you want to just kind of like sink in or get away, to seek some sort of solitude, possibly in your work. It's just going to be something that once you get out of this situation, you're going to want to take some time and, you know, get away and seek solitude. Okay? And then we have the Six of Cups. Now, it is actually in reverse. Now, when a card is in reverse, it does give it a completely different meaning. Okay? And this card is really no different. They're always like that. Now, this card to me is about renewal. It's about things happening again, almost like a rebirth. So what that tells me is once you come out of this period of solitude, you're going to feel rejuvenated and almost as if you want to reinvent yourself. It's actually going to be a really good time for you. Lastly, we have the Eight of Swords. Now, that's kind of a dark card to you know, end up the future with. Because what I see happening is it starts out really good, gets kind of bad, and then it gets much better. And now we're back to the Eight of Swords, which in reality is a card about feeling trapped. This person is surrounded by swords. So what that tells me is that be very careful that you do not fall back into this thing that was happening before. She's encircled. So that tells me that you may have a tendency to want to go back in time and be with this person that has caused you to feel trapped in so much pain. You may, again, this was in the other reading, have a tendency to wear blindfolds and ignore things. And in order for you to remain on a path that is bright and good for you, then you would need to make sure that you do not put that blindfold back on. Do not let yourself get in a situation where you may feel trapped emotionally or physically in any way. Okay? All right, that does conclude my reading for today. And I would like to thank everyone for joining me. And I do hope to see you all again.